Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the December energies today. We're going to go a little bit over some of the astrology that's coming up because we are a part of the universe and we feel these currents ripple through us. There are so many amazing opportunities this month. And really, if I could summarize the energies of December into a single phrase, it would be welcome to the season of light. All about the inner exploration of your inner light and working with it and sharing it and encouraging it in others. So before we get into it, we're going to do a little bit of promotion. We're going to continue to have 50% off all of the courses on the Mystery School site. And this is Divine DNA Blueprint on Thinkific. This is all about supporting your conscious living, supporting your awakening process on so many levels. It's mastery level wisdom, activations for spiritual leadership, topics like ancestral clearing and integration and DNA upgrades, shining the light into shadow, divine feminine leadership and legacy building with the Sophia Seraphim, embodiment practices where soul meets body, a lot of us going through the light body upgrades now, a lot of these different experiences that we've learned about, heard about for years, they're becoming more mainstream. So we do offer courses on breathwork, yoga, and energy clearing for the light body tuning and greater radiance, learning how to connect to the crystalline grid and the grid work through your own body, your own elemental activation. And we also talk about Ayurvedic wisdom to support your body elemental, detox, immunity, longevity, and heightened energy. So the Divine DNA Blueprint Mystery School, I launched it in 2019 in July, and I'm sharing a ton of wisdom of what I've studied and explored and put into practice for the last 15, 16 years to support my own consciousness journey and healing. So these are offerings for transformation, accessing greater abilities, and building your legacy. There's also amazing courses about astrology and how to connect to your own inner phoenix codes through the different divine blueprints of your astrological Western zodiac chart. There's just so much in there. So it's been channeled. It's all part of my own lived experience of what really worked for me. I love to teach people how to fish. That's what sets me apart. I've been told many times, like, wow, you just give it all. I'm like, yep, that's what Tauruses do. We want to give you the full experience and just really allow you to feel so empowered and just supercharged with a lot of amazing and tangible and realistic application of these larger metaphysical concepts. So all of these courses and the quantum light installations are 50% off through the end of the month until midnight on December 31st. And the coupon code is just 2023. And the link will be in the description box below. Okay, now, thank you. Let us get to the quantum energy review. So for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we're starting to get more deeply into the winter and kind of that hibernation mode. We have these amazing mythic experiences in our mainstream culture with things like Christmas, the season of Christ and Mother Mary, these ideas of immaculate conception, all of this kind of mystical energy with the Magi. You know, these stories, these biblical stories, they're actually based on astrological events back in the day. And we are repeating a lot of those in this sacred season, the season of light. So welcome to the season of light. It's quite an amazing experience to feel these ripples, these currents of these massive celestial bodies and what they inspire in us. For me personally, I always feel a really wonderful connection with the Sirian masters and the etheric temples, the mystery schools from the planet Sirius. And we talk about Sirius B when we're mentioning this, the planet Sirius B, where so many of our amazing ascended masters have come from. So it really is this powerful time of reflection as those of us in the Northern Hemisphere are going through more of darker weather, perhaps more gray skies, more rain, depending on where you are, maybe some snow. It's much more of an internal kind of hibernation, integration period, which is supporting the rebirth, what we are calling the sacred passage, this sacred pathway, which really starts on the 11/11 and goes through about the 1/11 of 2024, January 11th. This is all about the embodiment of the soul, metaphorically speaking, also known as the birth of the Christ, the bringing through of your inner crystalline Christos, Christed or anointed or crystalline one, your own inner magi and mystic and Christed being, It's truly a profound opportunity to connect with your soul, and there's certainly no shortage of intense initiations with this process. When it comes to the physical body and all of what we are experiencing with all of this photonic light and all of the solar fluctuations, the solar flares, we're going to talk a little bit about that. This is going to be the most different holiday season that we've ever had, where aspects of it don't feel super holiday-like other years. We're starting to have these bleed throughs of multiple layers of experience. We're also all going through our own programming and coming into new belief systems, new truths, a lot of peeling back of the old layers of the old stories, and everyone is in their own unique version of this process. So everyone's in their reality, building it anew from the inside out, and it's a lot. There's a lot of emotions coming up. And then we're getting together for holiday experiences, or bringing that holiday cheer through. And it's a lot. So we have these choice points presenting now after so many years on this journey, and this year in particular. And we're going to do kind of an overview of the year and the energetics of this year in another podcast, because we feel it's really important to reflect on so many of the incredible initiations of this year, all the water energy, and also provide the opportunity to review and reflect, really taking advantage of that Mercury retrograde here, and wrap up any of those other karmic ties or stories or programs on the consciousness journey of navigating this quantum consciousness experience. So really, we're at a choice point right now. You could maybe feel a little pressure, if that's the right word, maybe a little seriousness. With that, we say SIRIUS, serious, being that overlighting energetic there, but a call to witness, a call to rectify. And with this Mercury retrograde energy that will be coming in, been in Mercury's shadow as it's preparing to turn retrograde. He hasn't even gone retrograde yet. But since the end of November, he's been in shadow, so it may have already been feeling like Mercury retrograde for you with a lot of different things. But Mercury actually goes into his retrograde journey December 12th, December 13th, right in time for those 12/12 portal initiations. And so when we talk about December, the overlying energetic, we love to look at the numerology, as you know. So we're looking at the Trinity, the power of 3. We're also looking at the 12, and just so much with that 12, and this being a 7-year, a lot of this mysticism, a lot of this revival of soul level wisdom. It brings in the sacred geometries as well of the dodecahedron, which is known as the divine particle, the God particle. Also, what they say is the molecule or the crystal of DMT made in the brain with a lot of meditation, can also be accessed through plant medicine. It's a 12-sided God particle, like the dodecahedron. So there are so many opportunities for us to wrap up a lot of the old stories where we felt disempowered, or we're giving our power away to something outside of ourselves, like a person, a situation, an event, a story, a program essentially, right? So it's really the opportunity to pull out of all of these different energy leaks, really, and come back into yourself, to unify with yourself, with your love, with your inner light. And for me personally, the initiation has been, regardless of what is arising or what we are experiencing or witnessing when we're in our inner world or the outer world, kind of that, being in the world, not of the world kind of dynamic, regardless of what's going on, as the entire world is in a restructuring phase, the essential core teaching is just come back to love. Just keep coming back to the love, back to the compassion, back to that light, back to that gratitude and appreciation and expansion. It's so important to realize that if you live in a multi-generational household, or just with other people in general, or you're engaging with other people in your daily world, it is so important to remember that every soul is on their own unique individual journey. And there's going to be a lot more of the splits that we've talked about all year, as everyone is in their own unique phase of their process, of their choice point. People may be choosing different things at this phase, depending on what they're ready for. Maybe they're not done learning certain lessons and they want to perhaps repeat some experiences. So we're honoring all of that. It's all free will, freedom of choice. What are they going to choose? Are they going to choose to continue to live from fear or a state of disempowerment, or perhaps even victim consciousness? And are they going to choose to go forward, to quantum leap, to trust, and to invite the new? And we definitely, of course, want to be clear and say, yes, we all experience fear, but we're going to choose love. We're going to stand up. I'm going to allow myself to rise. So if we can simply just navigate the energetics as best as we can, having grace, honor, love, integrity, respect, For ourselves and others, it's essentially a bifurcation now that's felt more strongly than ever before. And you have to choose not to allow others to impact your trajectory. Those that are going to continue on the same path are just not quite ready yet to make that quantum jump into a new reality or into a new experience where we are a co-creator, where we are empowered, we are enlightened. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's what we came here to do, to get more into the creator being mode. And so we're doing our best every day to bring ourselves into a unified state with our I am, our higher self, our soul's presence, the presence of the divine, the higher power, the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it. You're going to start to really feel like, oh, okay, that person is still doing their journey and they're not ready. I'm ready though. So there's going to be a split. And you have to just allow that. You want to thank people. You want to tie up the karmic resolutions. Thank you so much for this. I've had such an amazing, powerful learning experience, truly a lovely time of expansion with our relationship. I honor the sacred soul contracts we came in with to fulfill, and I am grateful, and I see that we are at a resolution now. I wish you all the best. I'll see you again at some point. Our paths will cross again. I love you so much, and I thank you. You may want to do the Ho'oponopono with this, right? I'm so sorry. I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me, right? So we want to do our best whenever possible to really complete a lot of these karmic timelines or these relationship situations with love and kindness and integrity. Sometimes we meet people at different phases of the journey and we're just no longer a match. And we call that, the frequency differential. It's just energy. It's not personal. It's not right or wrong, good or bad. Now, with some of these situations, there may be circumstances where you can't speak to the person. For whatever reason, they aren't able to hear you. Perhaps there's just too much conflict. So you want to try to resolve if possible. And if it's just not possible right now with whatever the dynamics are, you can also go into an integrated or meditative state and go into your higher self. Really spend some time getting into this sacred space, and you can connect with their higher self from soul to soul and have a heavenly dialogue of love and communicate from a soul to soul kind of perspective. Sometimes you can't talk to others on a human level. Sometimes it's the best we can do, just depending upon the circumstances. So it's all about the intention. It's just bringing everything through the love, closing it down with love and gratitude. And to assist you with this process, I've got this really awesome, really beautiful dodecahedron activation. And this was actually gifted to us by the Telosians in Mount Shasta a few years ago, specifically for karmic resolution for ourselves, our relationships, even nuclear family. And it actually all came about with working with the 12-sided dodecahedron quartz crystal, that beautiful sacred geometric shape of the 12. And it's a really amazing activation to teach you how to work with the sacred geometries to enter a chamber of divine Christed light. This is a wonderful healing light chamber that you can use for anything. If there's anything in your reality that's out of alignment that you wish to improve, you wish to bring up into a higher, more expanded, more sacred octave, a lens of perception, you wish to amplify that frequency, you want to bring some love light into it, whether it's a relationship ending and closing or evolving, you can use this for closing these karmic ties and creating or receiving a soul level resolution, a soul level intended love, and a closing down of the chapter with a lot of grace. You can use this healing light chamber for physical body healing, emotional stress or strife, any of these things. It's a really powerful, beautiful healing light chamber for you to work with from some of our Christed star family. And I hope that you enjoy that. And just a note on how to work with this, how to really make the most of this. You will hear me say in that activation to start first with the primer, which is the Divine Architect activation. Because the Divine Architect activation is a quantum light installation that sets you up into your unified state. So you're essentially clearing yourself, right, of all the discordant frequencies, anything that you're dealing with at that time, so that you can be in your full power, in your purest, highest aligned, most purified, pure heart state, in order to work with the Christed gold frequencies of the dodecahedron chamber. So both of those will be made available to you, and I hope that they really support you through this process. For the dodecahedron activation here, I'm going to be putting a link to that in the description box below, so you can just sign up for it. It's on the Mystery School site. Just use the coupon code provided. That way you can sign up and have access more easily on the Mystery School platform. Just sign up to the school if you're not a student or a learner yet with that link. Use the coupon code so that you can download this and you can actually have access to both activations to work with. So there's going to be the Divine Architect as the primer, which is something you can use daily to attune yourself to your higher master level Christed fields. Then after that, the dodecahedron. So you will have access to both of these to work with and download if you wish. Again, that's for the Divine Architect, which is setting you up for that pure aligned unified state, and then the dodecahedron to get into solution, SOUL-lution. So you can go even more deeply into working with these geometries and light frequencies. So all of that will be in the description box. All right, so now we're going to talk about the planet Neptune, because this energy has been a big one for us, and it's kind of been rolling through our experience all year. But now there's a lot that's going to start happening even more. You may have noticed, like, oh, I feel more sleepy. I just kind of want to sleep. I feel like I just want to dream. A lot of people have been having nightmares. A lot of people have been having dreams with water, and these, like, it's almost like this fantastic epic saga of a movie that your dreams. And so there's a lot of karmic work being done in our dream state, our sleep state. And remember, you can always, before going to bed, ask your universe, ask your higher self soul to assist you in clearing karmic timelines in your sleep. That way you make the most of your sleep state. Right? So there's a lot happening with the planet Neptune. It's been retrograde for some time, and it goes direct on December 6th. You could notice this entirely new dreamy kind of lucid dream acid trip experience where you're feeling more dreamy, or like I said, you're wanting to sleep more, and maybe you're having these amazing dreams, a lot of clearing happening. Planet Neptune is a higher octave of the planet Venus. Some of the energies associated with Neptune, which is part of the sign of Pisces here, is the dreamer, mystic, creative genius, where you're really tapping into the collective unconscious, your spiritual calling, psychic faculties. And it's about understanding where there's a blurriness between the realities too, right? We could also have delusion and paranoia and like mental illness with this. So really, the trick to this next cycle is fully knowing yourself, knowing your values, knowing who you are. As things continue to get more ethereal, the veils continue to thin. There will be so many people that are very confused because they don't have a strong sense of self yet, right? They're not associating their identity at a soul level. It may be more of a programmed level. So this is where I don't really want to say lower octave, but some of the karmic teachings and energetics of Neptune and Pisces there's a blurriness. We could have addiction, right? There could be issues with sobriety. Neptune also actually rules the media and the dream worlds, the fantasy worlds that are created by the media, whether it's for entertainment in the movie industries and things like that, or mainstream mass consciousness programming. So that's quite interesting. Neptune reveals your innate connection to your spirituality, mysticism, creativity, and divinity. And our Neptune placement, if you want to explore your chart using the True North ebook, I teach you how to start playing with your Western chart there. It's a gifted ebook to support your mastery and conscious navigation, getting to know yourself more, getting to know your blueprints more, right? We're all about your divine DNA blueprints. So if you start to explore your Neptune placement, it starts to expose how we dissolve structures, systems, limiting beliefs, anything that stands in the way of accessing true transcendence. So Neptune is part of the sign of Pisces, and now the planet Saturn is in the sign of Pisces, where it has been since March. So you want to kind of look back, like, wow, what have I been working through? What has been revealing itself to me since March when it comes to building new structures in my life for my dreams? Seeing, okay, yep, this is the trajectory, this is the long haul, this is the game plan. And if that hasn't been coming up for you yet, it's definitely going to start now. So from March 7th of this year of 2023 to May 24th of 2025, Saturn's going to be in Pisces. And so this is a really amazing opportunity for us to get into that divine architect component of building our ideal reality, making your ideal real through the focus, through the discipline with this Saturn. And then it's actually going to go into Pisces again, Saturn going into Pisces again, thanks to a retrograde from August 31st of 2025 to February 13th of 2026. Now, the sign of Pisces is a mutable water sign symbolized by the fish swimming in opposite directions. How do we find that balance between love and fear, right? And choosing our empowerment, choosing our ability? How do we suffuse the material with the divine qualities? How do we transform duality into unity? All of this through ourself, through our connection. So this is all about having that mystical self-discipline to do the inner work, set yourself up for success with a strategy, building a framework and a structure, even a schedule here, a daily schedule to build your new earth dreams upon. Saturn is the lord of time, karma, the taskmaster. You see how the old paradigm is melting, and there is definitely much more of a surreal blending of the realms now. The veils are very thin between realities, and this lucid dream coming online as we step up to participate. And they kind of work together for you with Saturn and Pisces here to start to work with your higher mind, intuitive faculties, your third eye, connected with the heart, connected with your root chakra, this ability of dreaming, being the dreamer, weaving, dream weaving, weaving the light dreams, becoming more of a dreamer and a feeler and a mystic, and this magical sparkling quality coming online, entering these dream realms, entering what they call the dream time, right? And doing this in a tangible way, in a way that is grounded and stabilized and rooted and earthy, disciplined, focused, doing the mindset work daily to deprogram and reprogram. The Aboriginals in Australia call this the dream time, where you're starting to reprogram from. So there's a huge recapitulation process going on. You could look into that. The shamans talk about the recapitulation, and it's essentially condensing your entire life and your story and your identity into a very simplified, pure I am kind of form that is free from a lot of the karmic densities and distortions. It's just a pure beingness. This is a new paradigm, lucid dream, entirely new realities coming into form. So you have to have the discipline to hold that energy and focus on it and bring it into form. And you will be shown ways to do this. So another lovely way I like to refer to this process is called the Imagineering. So you're using the power of your divine faculties and your higher mind aligned with your higher self and your heart, and again with your root chakra. Everything is unified, right? Everything is upgraded. Everything is clarified, purified in the truth of this now, which is a very simple, pure truth. And you're calling forth these new experiences like, yeah, I'm done with all of these lessons. I've learned it. I've integrated it. I know who I am. I value myself. I'm excited about my path. I'm excited about my mission, and I'm welcoming in the next jump. I'm ready for the next timeline. And Neptune can really assist us with bringing forth these higher dimensional heavenly realms in your experience. So you want to start to define, well, what does that feel like? What does it look like? What is your daily life? Where would you like perhaps self-care? More self-nurturing, more self-love, or time for yourself to build this, to have that space to check in, get your game plan every day, aligning with your higher self. Okay, what are we doing today? Okay. You want to start to expand what is possible. And Neptune is very supportive of all of this. And now the opportunities to jump to an entirely new timeline. There are so many quantum jump potentials, and we're getting ready for 2024 and another acceleration period, which has already begun with the solar activity starting to come into more of a peak. There's going to be a lot of initiations through this, also through this month, a lot of experiences or almost karmic time loops. We call it the quantum boomerang, where there are going to be opportunities for you to consistently check in. Are you sure? It's like your soul is almost testing you on a level. Like, okay, you said this, you made this the intention. Now, are you sure? So there's some tests, and you have to be really firm. Yes, this is what I want. No, I'm not going to engage in that anymore. That's no longer a part of who I am. Thank you for showing me that echo. I'm not even going to give it any energy. That's not my truth anymore. That's not what I'm going to do. And that's not even what I'm here to do anymore. I have evolved past that. I'm choosing to be this. I'm choosing to respond this way. I now have accumulated this knowledge to utilize in this now. So you're going to have a lot of opportunities to say, yeah, I'm sure this is what I want. There's lots of things that we could say, try to pull you back, into the automated or unconscious way of functioning, of perceiving, of thinking of yourself. All about mindset. So the mindset work is crucial now. It is crucial. And we've been working through a lot of mindset kind of tools. You want to go through your belief systems and see what belief systems are no longer serving you. Pinpoint them. Be really honest with yourself about where you sabotage. Where are there patterns and things that do not serve you? Maybe you're self-sacrificing too much. You're not giving yourself enough. You want to find those. You want to be really clear, raw, honest with yourself. Get vulnerable with yourself. Write them down. And for each one that you pinpoint, you want to write down 3 positive statements to cancel out that energy, to balance out that energy. So here's a great example. I let other people and their emotional needs come before my own, and then I never have time for all of the wonderful projects that I want to work on. Okay? All right, so then we're going to have 3 examples. I choose to honor myself and others. I choose to make time for myself first and then be available to others. I choose to prioritize the different tasks and projects that my soul is showing me, guiding me towards, and I can feel how lit up I am by them. I'm going to prioritize my sacred responsibilities and my sacred mission first, and then I will also take care of others. So you want to reframe. There's a lot of mindset work here. What emotions, perhaps, belief systems being held within? We have that visual coming through right now, the Buddhist monk that's showing you, like, if you're holding on to anger and rage at something or someone, you're burning yourself. That coal is burning your hand. You must forgive yourself, forgive others. It's time to move on. It's time to give thanks for all those really deep lessons that have had a profound impact on us and take the higher level of the teachings from that and move forward, right? Cut your losses, lighten your load. It's time. It's very serious right now. Again, Sirius. There's the Sirians, that initiatory period where we have the opportunity to choose an entirely new reality and build it from the inside out. And that's using all of the mastery tools we've been accumulating. And yes, on one level, you could say it's a lot of work because it's mindset work, but it's really not when we look at how hard life was before, access to so much consciousness, access to so many tools and light technologies. It's completely different from any hard work we've ever done, right? It's not the same level of physical taxation. There's no compromise going on of our souls, of our integrity, of our energy. There's no self-abuse, experiencing anything from self or others that would be even close to abusive. This is all the stuff you want to work with and see. This is all coming through self-love and positivity. And part of that self-love is the mindset work. So remember, your reality is 20% of the quote unquote hard work, right? The linear tasks, all these different things we're shown to do. 20%. And it's 80% mindset. So that means you get to spend more time in these meditative realms, doing this deep inner processing, going through your core beliefs. And a lot of our work is geared all around that to assist you in this deprogramming. It's all about deprogramming, right? Stripping away, coming into that crystalline clarity, that diamond path of knowing yourself. So enjoy these activations of the divine architect and the dodecahedron to assist you with expanding everything that's coming up. Remember not to get lost in it or to continue to loop, the track, the emotion. You want to feel it, you want to see it, witness it, observe it, expand beyond it. See yourself growing bigger and enveloping beyond, around the scenario, the story, the situation, and ask, what more is there to this? What is the root of this? Show me what to do with this. Show me the solution. Soul-lution, right? And so again, we're welcoming you in the season of light where you are the light and you're choosing your light, and to balance it all out regardless of what is going on. We're seeing the infinity loop with that, a beautiful sacred golden infinity loop, and bringing in, again, remember, there's the Tai Chi Gong practice that we have, this gifted practice here in the description box. Sign up for free, learn the exercises. There's even ones to do lying down or sitting down if you don't have a lot of energy, or if you are dealing with things like paralysis or illness right now. There's always ways to work with the energy, right? The only limitation is ourself. And this gifted practice will assist you greatly with this, because you're going to see even more how we are adapting into our true nature as an energy being, as a soul, having this incredible physical experience in this space-time continuum of this physical reality. So now we're going to talk about the sacred passage, this rebirth, this soul embodiment. Now, when we talk about the light body and the solar flares and all of the incredible activations that so many of us are receiving right now with these solar influxes, this is also a very physical time for everyone, meaning you may be having a lot of things going on in your body. A lot of support is being required and asked of you now, a lot of rest, a lot of lying down. This is a sacred passage, the 11:11 to the 11:1, and now with this 12 energy, this Trinity energy of December, wow, it is magnified. I remember November 30th, I was laying there just going through it and just feeling like, OMG, the 12:12 is here already. Like, this is so intense, and it's so beautiful and inspiring and magical and pure and sparkly and intense. A sacred passage to allow the light body upgrades, allow those cellular rewrites, DNA rewrites to continue to happen. If the light body stuff is new to you, check out, just Google Lisa Transcendence Brown, light body. She started writing about this stuff in before 2010. All kinds of information on what's going on, right? The photonic light will continue to penetrate all of the deep nooks and crannies and crevices and pockets of tension within our being where we have had resistance, where we have unconsciousness. And when I say pockets of tension, I mean everywhere, from deep within your sacrum, having tightness in the musculature and the tendons. It might feel like, low back pain, all the way into the muscles that are around your bones and the vertebrae of the spine and your neck, all the way to the nooks and crannies of the mind, of the brain, right? All the wrinkles in the brain, that gray matter is called corticalization, right? The light is drilling into everything, not to mention the heart, going deep into the caverns of the heart, the emotional heart, the spiritual heart, the physical heart as well. So the photonic light is really penetrating. And I've been calling it, these last couple months, I've been calling it the diamond drill experience. If you've ever worked with drills in jewelry making, there's these diamond drill bits. And for me, that's how the photonic light has been affecting me. It is drilling into the deepest nooks and crannies and crevices of my consciousness, of my DNA, the very telomeres of my DNA strands, where I'm holding on to any density, any lack consciousness, anything that is not pure divine love and self-acceptance is coming up for that divine reveal. There's a lot of the physical upgrade experience with this. And Lisa Transcendence Brown, she has this wonderful way of assisting us to reframe out of the human experience, right? So it's FLU, frequency light upgrades. And there's really no way to define this in the 3D realm. They're going to think it's some kind of a sickness. And you could say, well, yeah, it's light sickness, it's radiation sickness. If you look at radiation and the symptoms, you look at WebMD, look at the symptoms of radiation exposure. Oh, interesting. It's like the flu. It's like coronavirus. Okay. They think it's some kind of a sickness, and it's not really, because it's an integration period. It's allowing our body to do what it needs to do, what it was made to do, to integrate higher and higher voltages of photonic light. And we've been talking about this process for several years now as the planet Uranus, which is electricity, divine intelligence, God consciousness, is in the sign of Taurus right now for several years, the sign of the body, the sign of the earth, the sign of Venus, the senses, right? And so a lot of us have been laid up lately, and it's like, okay, I'm good. I'm up, right? Okay. And then you're like, oh, nope, that was only 15 minutes. You start to do some things. You're like, oh God, I got to lay down. I feel exhausted. I feel achiness, almost like the flu symptoms, body aches, maybe some chills. There could be this hot and cold back and forth, tooth aches, neck pain, and it can be pretty excruciating. You got to know that with this radiation, we're going atomic. There is a lot of nuclear stuff going on at the atomic levels, which leads to a lot of these body aches. A lot of people, if they are new to healthy diet or cleaner diet or getting off processed foods, you could have a lot of evacuations of the digestive system right now. And that's where the Ayurvedic courses could really assist you with this. Or if you're going through a lot of the pain, the light body, prana, yoga, and sacred breath, this energy system that was downloaded to me by some of the yogic masters and the rishis to gently just lie on props like restorative yoga, lie around, listen to beautiful music, and just breathe in light, beautiful colors, fresh energy into these nooks and crannies where you have the pain. Just breathing energy in, letting it stretch gently open, using gravity to support you. They're very gentle practices. This is what you need to do to get in, allow the light to penetrate, work with it, partner with it. And sometimes, yes, it can be agonizing. Some people use a TENS unit. There's so many different things that you could be using. A lot of people are having a sinus-like pressure. It's like your brain can't take in information. You can't even process information. You may not even be able to converse or read anything. Sometimes you have to just be in complete silence. You could be laying there in bed in your light pod, or as I call it, the rejuvenation station light pod, your bed with your pets, maybe some crystals, some mandaras in there. And you could have your eyes closed and you're seeing all of these explosions, almost like fireworks with your eyes closed. And there's all these bright lights happening. And it's pretty phenomenal what's happening. It's really important to remember this is a sacred passage. This is a rebirth on so many levels as your soul is coming into your body. And you want to welcome that experience. And it can be really emotional when we're laid up. Sickness is one of the best ways for us to get into a lot of programming about victim consciousness. Why is this happening to me? Or I have things to do. I don't have time for this, where we're looking at ourselves like a machine. You can get frustrated. I will, my human is very type A. I'm like, come on, I have so many things I want to do. I'm so inspired. I want to create all these things. And, all I can do is lay here. And so you just want to surrender and say, well, you know what? This is an amazing process that's happening to me. It's part of the evolution of consciousness. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to welcome it in. I'm going to bite the wooden spoon. Sometimes it feels like that. You want to do love baths with yourself. just bathing yourself in divine love, just imagining, just calling that in. Say, I want a love bath. Imagine I'm bathing myself in divine love. Bring in a light bath, visualizing, intending, you're offering your body to the light. Ask the light to infuse your entire body, infuse your DNA, infuse your heart, offer your brain. I'll say, okay, bathe my brain in light, universe, bathe my teeth and my entire physical body and my heart, my mind, my psychology, just bathe me in the light. And you see what color. Like right now, I'm seeing a beautiful white gold. Maybe you're seeing a diamond light. Maybe you're seeing a soft pink or a violet. Work with what you want. Maybe a beautiful blue supporting your healing process. Different organs. Infuse your organs with light. You can imagine the sunlight upon your body. You want to welcome in the light, welcome in the love. Say, thank you so much. I know there's all of this incredible improvement and upgrading happening to my physical vessel where I'm truly lightening my load. I'm strengthening my light body. I'm surrendering this density and all these distortions that no longer serve me. I don't have to carry this shit around anymore. The light is helping me to remove it, to transcend through this, all through love. Also, you want to affirm you are allowed to have the physical body experience that you like. So if you've been dealing with autoimmune disorder, neurological degenerative disorder, all of these various things, you have to look at the metaphysical component of illness. Why do we have dis-ease? Because of emotional trauma, psychological trauma. It's loaded, locked into tissues. Issues are in the tissues. Highly recommend Louise Hay, Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life book. Start looking at the metaphysical correlations of your symptoms. Work through the affirmations. Work through the mindset. Miracles are possible. You are a miracle. You want to really surrender. And I've been writing a few things on the light body experience. I've got some great resources, a whole blog of different supplements that can really assist you. And I will put a link to that in the description box. Also the Tai Chi Gong, when you can stand, when you want to move around. Physical body care like hot baths, infrared, warming mats, heating mats, TENS unit, CBD salves to help with the aches and pains. You want to be supporting your body on all levels, right? Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, supplementally, right? Detox, diet. This is reforming itself, the DNA. It's pretty phenomenal that we get to live this experience in the physical. This is the first time that many of us are getting to take it this far, to actually bring the light into the physical body rather than leave the plane, right? So you really want to understand, understand. Surrender to the fact that this is an entirely new experience and it is very sacred. Your entire lifestyle has to change. You got to trust your light. You got to trust your light body. Maybe you have to completely change your work schedule. I know I did, and it was terrifying at first. It's like, okay, I'm a single parent. How am I going to provide for my family? And yet I have to surrender to this process, right? So you can see how deep of a reveal and a purge this can be, right? You want to just honor it. You may be the leader in your family, in your community, where you're like, yep, I gotta lay down. I gotta rest for a little while, I gotta honor my energy. I'll be back. I'll see you in a little bit. I just need to pause and take a moment. I'll get back to that later. This is about setting boundaries for yourself. Boundaries are self-love. Rest is self-love. The ultimate self-love is to pull away when you need to refresh and restore yourself. If we don't do it, you'll feel even worse, and it can get more serious. And so it's kind of like, we kept hearing the last couple weeks, resistance is futile, because the different aspects have great senses of humor. The universe has a great sense of humor. God has a great sense of humor. They want to assist us to chuckle and have a light heart through this process, It can be funny, and you just have to roll with it. And sometimes I'll call it pancake mode, right? All you can do is lay there flat in your bed. You have to be in silence. And maybe you want to watch a funny movie or some kind of sweet comedy and laugh, or watch something beautiful. Some of the David Attenborough wonderful, nature programs where you can enjoy the planetary offerings of Gaia, in the animal realm, in the plant realm, or watch amazing, fantastic fungi documentary with Paul Stamets. You got to see, you got to check in, see what you feel like, what feels appropriate. Maybe it's a really nice activation and a meditation or a body scan or a yoga nidra. Maybe you need to conk out, just pass out, just completely reboot yourself, take a nap. I remember the famous channel, Barbara Marciniak, right? Barbara Marciniak channeled the Pleiadians. And in I think it was 2014, she said, oh, when the ascension process really starts to get going, you're going to sleep right through it. And it's like, oh my God, is that what she was talking about? That we're going to need to rest so deeply for all of these upgrades to happen, to completely rebuild from the inside out an entirely new architecture? So you really want to get into this sacred passage, that this is a rebuilding, a rebirthing, the soul coming home into the body to animate the body. And that this is the sacred temple, and really allow the words to become more than just words. Really feel this. One of the wonderful visuals that I received a few weeks ago when I was just laying there in agony, because it can be really intense when you have so many parts of you that are aching. You just have to surrender into it. Just enjoy the visuals, the light show, right? Enjoy kind of surfing your body from the inside out with a third eye. And I started to be shown all of these incredible architectural designs happening within my body. I was laying there with my eyes closed, and I just let spirit take me on a journey to show me what's happening right now. I said, what are we doing? This is so intense. Like, I know something great is happening. What's going on? I'm in excruciating pain with this. What's actually happening here? And the visuals that came through were these incredible archways. And I'm putting some video in here for you to see. You would see inside a cathedral, like these fabulous Gothic cathedrals made with this incredible, beautiful, sacred architecture with sacred geometry and the most beautiful, luxurious materials, and just works of art, of architecture. And how I interpreted that visualization and that information, I was like, oh my God, we are literally rebuilding the architecture of our being and thus our life from the inside out. So it's very sacred, very holy, just an amazing process. Another visual I received years back when the solar activity was first starting to ramp up. I want to say this was 2020, and I was laying in bed and just surrendering. I was so nauseous, like so much. The quantum rays were just so much. There's gamma ray frequencies. We were in a really intense geomagnetic storm. And I was drinking a bunch of orange juice. And sometimes you want to drink or eat a bunch of gold stuff. Depends on what you're dealing with, what activations are going on. But when there's solar, sometimes you're drawn to gold. And so I'm laying there with my bottle of orange juice next to me. I'm just in bed. And I was shown these incredible kind of like diamond pastel rainbow light lasers. And that the light lasers were going from cell to cell, and they were unzipping all of my cells. And it was like at an atomic level, I was watching my cells be lasered in half and zipped apart and open. And then these lasers were coming in and soldering and rewiring and recoding. And I was seeing the fire letters and all these things were happening. And it was just like beyond me. And then I was seeing them get zip back up. And they were showing me the upgrades that are happening to the telomeres of our DNA. So this is a lot of work for the body. It's a lot of energy. So it's really important to surrender, to honor this process, to also lead by example in this. Now, my whole family loves naps. And before, you know how it is with the programming of different generations, like, oh no, you're not allowed to pause. You're supposed to keep going, There's this really deeply entrenched industrial program, thanks to the Industrial Revolution, that we're machines and robotic and we have to produce. And that's all from that Industrial Revolutionary period, which we are unwinding that, right, as we're bringing the sacred back through. And so we're unzipping and tossing that one out the window because we are energetic beings and we exist in a flow. Sometimes you have a lot of energy and you feel amazing and you can get so much accomplished and you're flying. Sometimes you have a little and you're just flowing and your life becomes this very beautiful, peaceful, flowing existence. You want to float, you want to surf, you want to ride the waves. Don't fight the flow, right? And so we're surfing the waves of the quantum process. And this is what happens with photonic light. It's very different from the linear stuff. So now Mercury retrograde we'll talk about a little bit here. So also to assist us with this process of naturally transitioning to a more quantum or wave form existence is the Mercury retrograde itself. And we have quite a few podcasts now all about Mercury retrograde, how it's so supportive of a quantum existence, how to work with it, and really take advantage of the opportunity to actually choose and intend through your mindset, and applying these principles, how to make quantum leaps and flow just by flowing with the process itself. And so I don't want to repeat a lot of that here. You can go much more deeply into Mercury retrograde and how it is really a divine facilitation for us to pull ourselves even more out of the matrix programming or out of that linear functioning, right? Releasing and dissolving, redefining a lot of these different dualistic paradigm boxes we put ourselves in, right? So it's either or, no more of that dualistic thinking. So you're welcome to refer back to those podcasts for deeper information. I will link them in the description box. Mercury is going to be retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. And you may have noticed that on Friday, Mercury went into Capricorn. I was like, oh, thank God, because Capricorn's an earth sign. It's earth and Saturn. So that is supporting also more of that Saturn in Pisces. So there's a lot of cosmic support with the mindset to balance being on earth and bringing heaven to earth. So Capricorn is that powerful energy of endurance, sustainability, hard work, determination, that agile, wise mountain goat, scaling the many mountains of the journey with courage and steadfast longevity, right? This is supporting yourself for the long haul. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So many, when we talk about Saturn and putting the frameworks in place to support ourselves, this is multidimensional. This is full spectrum. This is including not only the mindset, body care, diet and nutrition, working with the light technologies, right? Putting yourself in the healing energy chambers, detox, plenty of rest, meditation, and the mindset work. There are total Jedi superpowers available for us. They are here. They are downloaded. We just have to work to get to them. We have to let them come through. We have to be open. Miracles are possible. Quantum leaps are inviting us to have the courage and self-love to do the inner work, make room. All you got to do is make room. Get rid of the old stuff, make some space, right? Make room for these miracles. You'll be shown what to do. You got to have the faith to take action, use all your tools. You got to go through the fear of change, right? Surrender the fear of change and look back like, well, I know what was, and it really wasn't that fun. And I'm kind of ready to have some fun now. Kind of ready for a more magical experience. I think I worked really hard for that. So instead of being in fear or in dread of change, realize that the painful experiences and suffering of the past had to do with our unconsciousness. We are very well equipped now for a beautiful experience. Are there going to be challenges and continual opportunities to expand and learn and grow? Yes, but it's going to be different now because you're different and you have a whole new set of tools. So you want to use your tools. In a few months, you're going to be amazed at how much you've shifted your life, your reality, your body, your health. And so I love to share how these amazing planetary cycles and patterns are supporting us with all of these beautiful sacred geometrics to support us in this process of this sacred passage. If you really nerd out and you look at the astronomy and the patterns that all the planets are making, you would see the song of the spheres, the heavenly spheres, right? And sometimes you get in the right frequency, you can hear those tones. It's all for us. So when we talk about the support for this process of the sacred passage and Mercury retrograde, it's all those RE words, right? Review, revisit, revise, and so on. Revolution, right? So it's really allowing ourselves to unwind all of the former concepts, mindsets, realities, definitions, rules, dissolve the walls, allow them to open up. Work with the planets, work with your soul's guidance. The calling of your desire, your sacred, holy desire, working with your heart and your higher heart of what is the dream? What is the dream reality? What is your mission? What did you come here to do, to share, to be, to create? Allowing yourself that freedom to enjoy being and being now in an entirely new reality, an entirely new paradigm. So it's a lot about beliefs and the mindset and supporting your body. Welcome to the season of light. More and more people are going to continue to awaken in waves to, oh my gosh, I get to actually choose my experience. Before I didn't know I had the power to choose, but now I do. Now I've gone through the initiations and a lot of those lessons to get me to this point of expansion where now I get to co-create my experience with the universe. I actually get to have a say in this, how things go, and it's based on how I feel. Getting into those emotions, energy and motion. So thank you so much for joining me for this. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this inspired and empowered you. Let me know in the comments below how you doing. I will see you soon for a kind of end of the year kind of review podcast where we're going to look at all the energies, kind of do a recapitulation of, all right, what have we taken from this? What more? How can we go deeper? Maybe I had some resistance there. I wasn't ready to go there yet. Okay, yeah, I'll go there now. Continuing to be the mystic, continuing to be the Jedi, focused on living the mystical life daily, coming from our truth and divine love, and choosing how to respond with great ability, great focus, and faith. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Happy December, everyone. Aloha.